WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. I'm wearing the Royal Farms gear, gearing up for a Chicken Palooza 21 that's actually happening in the middle of the Crab Cake Tour. So there will be chicken on the Eastern Shore Road. And at the Rofos on the Eastern Shore, they sell beer. I'm headed to the beach at some point before all this is over with. And I'm also headed to the mountains of Western Maryland, as they say. This guy's been putting roofs from Western Maryland to the Eastern Shore, even dabbles in Pennsylvania and Virginia and other places from time to time. Bill Cole is here from Cole Roofing and Gordian Energy, lighting up my world with solar. And this is going to be interesting this week, dude, because like this whole thing, sports is where it began, but you and I are going to meander in all sorts of places because I'm putting this crab cake tour together. It's summertime. I'm having mask weirdness with people. Like I'm becoming an introvert for fist bumping and elbow bumping and sneezing and weird stuff. But I am so happy that at some point you and I are getting a crab cake together. How about that?
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely like a jailbreaky kind of feeling, like everyone's just running out. And yeah, there certainly doesn't appear to be any masks anywhere. So that's interesting.
Well, yeah, I have mine. I thought I lost it the other night. And my wife's like, "You lost your mask." I'm like, I hope I lost it. I hope I never
Right,
see it again. I hope I,
right.
I hope I don't need it next winter. I hope I never need it again. I hope it's a relic. I needed to be washed anyway. But I did. Then I found it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'll wear it again. You'll see it again. Before we began this segment, you said the strangest thing to me. So I want to, because I've talked to so many people this week about so many things. I'm really vibing out the Baltimore Positive and the crab cake vibe. I had a great day in Catonsville. I'm going to tell you about that because you've often asked me, like, what is this crab cake tour and whatever. And you said something to me right as I was getting ready to record. You're like, it's a nice day. Why don't we get together and do this? Why don't we do like radio together? Because I used to do this on the phone, right? You call
Sure,
in and whatever,
sure.
and you're driving and you're kind of paying attention. Now you're looking at me and you got your roof behind you and your logo and all of that. I didn't do my hair for you, but there's something about like, oh, we could get together and do this. And it's funny you would ask about that, Bill Cole, because when the crab cake tour thing happened, it was like, what's your crab cake tour? I don't understand. I've had people sass me like, that's a stupid idea. I'm like, okay, they said talking about baseball in 92 was stupid too, but here I am still 30 years later. Um, Went to Catonsville last week, and the crab cake tour has turned into a community celebration. And Moeller, I said to Moeller, just book some of your friends in Catonsville. So like, I want to kick it off. I want to figure out what the I'm in beta, dude. I'm trying to figure this out.
Sure.
And I'm like, all right, I know I want to have Evan on because he and I have one of the reasons I'm doing a crab cake tour is Evan and I got in this conversation about what makes a good crab cake. Like literally, it was a very benign conversation, like Todd Schuller and I talking about Preakness glasses and eating cicadas, like you and me talking about solar and energy or just stuff we talk about. So I wanted to have Evan on, and Evan has this amazing story because he's been flooded out twice at Portales. He's had these
Sure.
two horrific things that happen. He's built a new business. He's working on his third restaurant in Cates, which is a great story. So I'm like, that's a great story. That's a Baltimore positive story. I love Evan. He's a sponsor. He helps me feed my family. Great. That's a basis for it. And Don's like, let's get some politicians that are doing some stuff and talk about this music thing. Great. So we bring over Pat Young, who's a Iraq and Afghanistan veteran. Like incredible stories he told. We brought Eric Ebersol over talking. So then we're like, let's bring Kirby over to talk about Chamber of Commerce and what Catonsville used to look like and what we want it to look like. And so it just turned into, and we brought Lou Winecam over, another sponsor at Franco's Pizza. We were talking about his bookmaker versus Evan's bookmaker salad and how my cat will only eat the shrimp from the bookmaker because it's not seasoned at Franco's. So we wind up having this wonderful like day. We're outside, right? I'm not feeling weird about COVID or anything like it was like the first normal thing I've done in a year and a half. And then I went inside for a Rush concert and I got all introverted about people breathing on me and drunk people being on me and touching me. And so I don't know. I'm not ready yet. But
No,
I'm ready for outside. So when we get
yes.
together, I want to do outside and we're gonna do this next month.
I agree. I think all you had to do was watch Phil Mickelson and his deal on Sunday. Like, I guess everybody just kind of wasn't too worried about security because, oh, well, there's COVID, except there isn't COVID. So fans were back. And all of a sudden there's 10,000 fans surrounding them and they're just marching up the 18th green. I mean, it was wild, and it was some of those images. I don't know that anybody will ever like pin that as one of the images coming out of the pandemic because there's just too much stuff out there. But for me, it was like just how refreshing, and like the
It was
exuberance.
very real. It was very
Yeah,
authentic. It
the
was very genuine.
exuberance of just those people. And Phil's a great story, and that's all really fun and just contributed to it. But I honestly, I'm not sure it mattered who was going to win that.
I
They were
said
going
to
to
my
they were
wife,
going to charge onto that fairway. They didn't give a crap who was out there.
I said to my wife, the funniest thing, we're watching this, and I'm like, they're all white people. Let's start with that. So that's the first thing I notice. And I'm like, they all have the same striped shirt. She's like, dude, they're the security. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, they
Yeah,
all they all look like they go to Auburn. They all have
right.
ball caps. They all
Yep.
look like a kid in an SEC. That's what the crowd looks like. It looks like an SEC frat convention. That's sort of what it looked like to me. So Viva Golf, go hit him straight, go get him lefty. I said, who hates Phil Mickelson? He's 50 years old. Like nobody ever thought he could win again. Same thing with Tiger last year. So Tom Brady. So anybody
Right.
betting against me at 52 better watch out.
Well, that's what I mean. All these 50-year-olds showed up to work on Monday, handed in their resignation, and said they're turning pro because there's still a chance for me. So I don't know. It was just,
Or
I
as
think it
Clem
was
Flory would say, I could have been a contender.
right. I think it was just really exciting to see people able to celebrate without any sort of
Rules.
restriction. Yeah, yeah, yep, yep. And they
Well, what
behaved mostly, and I'm sure it was probably scary as hell for Phil and Brooks, as they're walking up, that's probably pretty scary. But beyond that, it was just good to see. And it's more and more of that stuff happening, so it's good. And I think to your point, people will genuinely embrace, hey, let's just go get a crab cake with Ness. There's some content. I like the person that he's having it with. I want to hear them talk, whatever. He's been doing good conversations. Like there's just there's some substance to that, right? Like we want to support the people that have the restaurants that have the crab cakes. I would like to maybe even critique it a little bit, and like maybe it's
I
not
can
as good as
honestly
the
say
other
this.
one and
I mean,
all
I'll,
that.
I'll
But
say this for my life. Like I've had so many crab cakes. Like I don't like I can't even begin to tell you that places I've gone and growing up in Dundalk and having crab cakes. I never thought twice about it. It was just part of a food group, right? Like literally, it's been a food group in
sure,
my life forever. And for other people, like my wife from New Hampshire, it's just such a weird. And I never have thought about the Chesapeake Bay until I started really looking at the map. How many times I've said, like, I've driven straight to Ocean City and back, never made a right, never made a left unless there was traffic and I picked the farm road. But Billick took me out on the Y in his boat 12 years ago. I never bothered to see the difference between the Nanticoke and I didn't even really know where Hooper's Islands were, off, I kept calling it the Tidewater Refuge. It's the Blackwater Refuge. I mean, I don't even know the names of these places and I've driven past them forever, right?
you know
This
the
is going to
name
be
of
my summer.
Assawoman Bay, though, don't you? Assawoman
Assawoman
Bay.
Bay, we fished
Everybody
off of
knows that
because when
one.
you're 8 years old and you see Assawoman when you're
It is
going
the
in,
greatest thing ever. Yeah, everybody knows that one.
always, how did you know that?
Because
Because you were a
everybody knows
boy in
that,
the 70s, right?
right?
Exactly. Bill
Because
Cole
my
was
kids
here.
still do it.
Your kid, Bill Cole is here. He's Cole Roofing and Gordian Energy. So, the crab cake thing, I'm trying to figure out what it is and what the tour is going to be. I think it's going to be like I'm doing the first stop in September. We get back with my friend Brian Eder over to Chaucer in Highlandtown. And I've decided, and nobody even knows this, I'm breaking the news right now. He doesn't even know. But I think it should be a celebration of Upper Canton, which I call Highlandtown, which should be like the people running the Patterson Arts, right? And the folks at the Enoch Pratt Free Library where the Frank Zappa bust is. And I love Chicken Rico in Highlandtown. And I love me some Matthews Pizza. Let's get them over and learn their story. I want to hear about like what's going on there because I
Sure.
freaking grew up in Highlandtown. You know what I mean? Like every Saturday of my life, Stella's, Epstein's. It's not that anymore, and it's got a whole lot more people that have my skin tone and have my background and eat arepas and serve enchiladas and have incredible salsa. There's more Central American Mexican places in that stretch of the city that all have great food, all
Yeah.
here living the dream the way my father did, the way your grandfather did, the way way everybody did. So
Yeah.
those kinds of conversations are going to be important. But to your point, I haven't had the crab cake there. I wonder how it is. You know what I
Right.
mean? I wonder
Well,
how they
that and
make it.
that's the fun part, right? And you'll be. I'm sure you'll be nice about it because you're just nice to everybody. You won't be overly critical,
I'm
but
nasty Nestor. F
I
you.
know, I know.
Okay.
What I love
Don't try
is
me. It's early in the morning.
what
I
I
haven't had my
love.
rofo yet.
What I love is the exploration to your point of the you only drive on 50. You never turn off it. So what the hell else is there? Like, there's a whole lot of
There
stuff
is
out
a
there.
town called Oxford. Do you know about Oxford?
And I've seen the sign.
My friend
What?
Mark Miller, who's with your friend Todd Schuler, Mark Miller said to me, "You got to go to Oxford." And I'm like, "What? I never. Where's that?" I had to Google it. I had to like look it up, and I'm like, "Oh, it's kind of near Easton, but it's not like it's across from Tillman, but not really." And there's a ferry apparently, and Smith Island, and there's Smith Island cake. The thing that I'm going to do, and I've told everybody this, and I would encourage you to do something with me, right? Because you go to Deep Creek Lake, right? Like you.
Well, what I was going to tell you is I feel blessed because the roofing business has allowed me. I mean, this was probably when I was 25 and trying to decide whether I really wanted to stay in this family crazy roofing business. This was the part that kept me coming back was that,
What were you going to do? Were you going to be a doctor or a lawyer? What were you?
oh no, I had no idea what I was going to be. I just wasn't sure if it was should be this. I get to go to these places because there's a commercial building there somewhere that has a
You've been
roof
to
problem.
Thermont.
That
You've
has a
been to
roof
Cumberland.
problem. Exactly.
See,
They
I've
all have elementary schools, right? So I've
hold
stood
on. You're
on
the one
most
I'm
of
looking
those
for. I've been
schools.
asking everybody about like, have you been to Calvert Cliffs? Have you been to St. Mary's City? Have you been to Chester? I've never been to these places. I've never.
From
I've driven down 301 twice in my life through Waldorf, and been at one time I did it was last year. So I've never
from
been to these places
16,
at all.
right? From 16, because I was a delivery boy for all the stuff that our guys would forget, through whatever my 30s, all I was a road warrior and like the old map books. And I actually used to have a cardboard box
So
because
you are the guy on the
you
road at
had
three
to
in the
have,
afternoon being like, oh, that
yeah,
place, I'm gonna get a crab cake over there. And
you
before
had to
Google,
have
it was just like
10 map books. Yeah,
you're in
no,
Tawny Town and whatever they're broaching there is what you're eating, right?
yeah, no,
By the way, I
I
gotta give a free plug to one of your friends, one of your
adventure.
really dear friends. Tell everybody about Dave Knoll. Like tell me what he does. Because I know you've been in his space before. Because as I do this, he just hooked me up. It's MOI. And I thought it was pronounced moi. I thought they were a French company for a while.
Right.
But it's Maryland Office Interiors. And I'm rising. I'm
Oh,
standing. So I have a standing desk now, and I can
what
actually
is you?
stand up and do this. And it's sort of like very Hannah Storm. I feel like ESPN. I feel like Kenny Mayne. I feel like I can stand and do. So it's gonna make me dangerous. I just wanted to do
Do you
that.
want me to stand up with you?
No,
Because
I
I
know
can
I
stand
was
up
sitting
too.
down, and I don't. You have one of those too.
I do.
How has
Actually,
it changed your life? Because I've had it a couple days, and it's changed my life dramatically.
I actually did it at home first when I was in like November when everyone freaked out and we all ran home again. Uh, I did it at home and I liked it so much that I did it at work now.
All right, so
So
I'm now standing on like a mat that supports my hips and makes me feel better. So I stay away from Dr. Steve at Elliott Chiropractic. So like this is the new jam for me. And I can talk this way, pitch this way, write this way. I can move it up, move it down. I'm really happy.
yeah, I don't
More
have a
happy I
mat.
haven't shaved. As I
I
can
don't
say.
have a mat. I have a concrete floor, but
No, you get it. You the mat, you
it's
dude.
all
It's good for
good.
your knees. You're
You
an old
know,
roofer.
yeah,
Is that like being like a catcher, being an old roofer? You said it's an
yeah,
old roofing
worse.
injury, or do you
I think
say
it's
that or no?
worse. I think it's worse. Yeah, I think it's worse. I mean, for my guys, their bodies definitely break down. Like one of the things we're constantly talking about is you need to keep expanding your skill set because at some point, your knees and your elbows and all that stuff are going to let you down. And if If you don't
And
have
then
any
it's going
other
to be your wisdom.
skills, what are
Then
you
your
going to do?
wisdom's going to come into play.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm working on that point at this point in my career too. Bill Call is here. He does roofs all over. So listen, I bugged everybody about this. Now
Oh,
that
you
the
want to
tour
talk
is
about
real.
Dave Knoll? You asked me a question. We didn't even
Oh,
we,
go ahead,
we
Dave
didn't
Noel.
really go
Yes.
there.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead, Dave
So
Noel.
what the way I would describe Dave Knoll is like he transforms your space through all the different items that he can bring to it, but he's giving you the full spectrum of, like he and I talked a lot about these interchangeable walls that create flexibility in your space. You need a small room, you need a big room, you need whiteboards, you need,
Sort of like when you throw an event space for like a
yep,
wedding. Right.
yep. But now it's, very much in the office because I mean, if you had used his products pre-COVID, you would have been in a position to either make the offices bigger because you needed more space, or make them smaller so you could create more partitions to put more people and separate them. Because
You know me,
his
I'm about infinite flexibility, right?
exactly, and that's what Dave does on the walls, and and then all the other sort of office related products. But I enjoy Dave because he helps me think about the space, right, and like how
Listen,
to actually
everybody got
get
trapped at
stuff
home
done.
15 months ago.
Yeah,
And no one had space. Everyone I talked to, kids are here, I'm there, I'm working on the kitchen table. My back friggin' hurt because I had the wrong chair. And I mean, I called Dave in the worst position ever, in abject pain. And I said, I am sitting here doing what I need to do to build my business, feed my family, serve my sponsors, create content. And all of it is happening with my hips in the same position, and it's got to stop. It's killing me. I'm 52 years old and I do yoga and I'm in good shape, and I'm not overweight and I eat right. I do all that, but I'm hurting. This
right.
thing has like changed just the chair alone changed my flow, but the desk and the spacing and having my ish put away, paperwork, things that you need to have, floss, where you put your phone, cleaning your glasses. I need a pen. I need something to hold my phone. I got cables to charge my phone. I got cables to charge all of this stuff, making it feel like a place you want to work and not like I'm renting the kitchen table, right? Like literally, like I feel like this is my space and a space to create. I sit when I write, I stand when I present. I haven't figured out the radio thing because you know why? I've been doing radio sitting down for 29 years. The
Yeah,
fact that I can do it standing up never occurred to me. Like
right.
it never occurred to me, literally, never occurred to me.
The other thing that I think is really interesting in that world is so um I don't my timing's probably wrong, but we were going to these open workspaces where there's no walls, everybody's just kind of like in cubes, but they're all kind of bunched
They say that
together.
allows flow and all of the
Right. And then
science
you're
of
like, yeah, but
collaboration. That's the word we're
I
looking
don't
for.
really feel like listening to Nestor on the phone because
Not at
he like
all.
screams into it,
Of
and I'm
course.
sitting over here trying to get my work done. But like Dave's got all that figured out too, because now they have all these like soundproofing
It's an
products and
amazing. It's like a
ceiling. It
spaceship to go
really
over his
is.
place. And
It is.
I was a little intimidated. I'm like, Dave, I don't. It's just me. You know what I mean? It's just I just need
Yeah.
something for me. He's like, no, dude, we do that. Like he showed me the desk that went up and down. And maybe I'm just a nerd, and maybe like I've had the same desk from IKEA since 1998. It's just my
Right.
desk, and I
Right.
gifted it to my someone that works in my building, and like crazy appreciative. So I have this gratitude thing coming from the other
Yeah.
side. I'm
Yeah.
very grateful. So Dave, I know you're out there. Dave's coming on the show a week after next because I'm taking a little OBX time next week with the wife. Um, we're going to be talking a lot about this because my wife comes in here and says, hey, what are you doing in there? I work 9 hours a day too at a desk.
Right.
Maybe it'd be good for me. And I think the investment, it's the same thing as you say, like a good pillow, a good bed, a car that's comfortable for you, whatever that thing is. We all sit and work all day, working in comfort. It sounds like you had it all figured out 15 months ago.
No, maybe 6, but even
You
that,
sandbagging on me? You
I'm
didn't even
still
tell me.
learning. I'm still learning how to do it. What I can tell you about Dave Knoll, but you can't tell him that I admitted
No
this,
one listens to this show. Trust me.
is that he does have a pretty sick jump shot, and I may have lost to him in horse once. Maybe. So don't sleep on Dave. If
If it's
you
just
find
about free
yourself
throws,
if you find yourself on a basketball court, be very careful. He's a dangerous man.
I've beaten 2 sets of Ravens in free throw competitions on collegiate NCAA floors in this here jurisdiction in this century. I've done that. So free throws, 5'9.5", pretty
Right.
fly for a white guy. Or Hispanic,
I'm
excuse me.
just saying, don't
Bill Cole
sleep
is
on
here.
Dave.
Cole Roofing, Gordian Energy. We're talking crab cake tours, cicadas, summer handshakes, and all that. Here's what I'm going to leave you with this today. All right, we'll keep this one short today because I've asked everyone about Maryland things to do. And I literally I dumped a bunch of Royal Farms water into my bag, so all of my dream sheets got completely soaked, which means it's time to make them digital. I want to show you this. So if I can get this off the green screen, this is the state of Maryland, upside down or right side up? No, upside down. So this is the state of Maryland, and I have circled all the places in big purple because I have a purple pen. For that, I have colors for everything. I'm a color pen guy. So all of these are places I've never been. So it's Smith Island, Blackwater Refuge, Oxford, Tillman, St. Mary's City, Calvert Cliffs, places below Annapolis, like below Riva. I've never been to Antietam. A lot of the Civil War stuff in Western Maryland, never been there. Rocky Gap, Savage River, Deep Creek Lake, Oakland, Cumberland. But the thing that I'm going to do, and this has been my little weird thing because I'm not a fisherman. I'm not out there. I'm going to fly fish. I'm going to do these things. But this is the thing I wanted to do before this tour that I swore if I ever drove that way again, I'm going to do it. It's ride that Western Maryland Railroad. It's called the Frostburg Flyer. I saw it on MPT. I think it's Rhea Fiken's fault. Rhea! I'm going to get her gig when she leaves finally. I'm going to
I got a guy in Savage River too, so I can help you there.
have a guy at the yurts.
I don't know that it's the yurts,
Well,
but
Eric Sauer's the one. Well, I mean, he inspired Baltimore Positive, right? Eric Sauer from There Goes My Hero. Turns out he's a real fly fisherman. I didn't know this about Derek. So Eric tells me about Savage River and yurts, and they said, we got to do that. So Dan
yeah,
Rodricks has promised me he's going fly fishing with me. I'm going to make him do it with me. So it's a commitment because it's a drive, and it is. Dennis Colatzos loves to fish and has never fly fished. So he's going. So this is your opportunity to come out. I mean, you're Mr.
oh no,
Outdoor. I've been on roofs all my life,
I would definitely
guy.
go there, but I'm definitely just gonna take like one of them fold up chair things
No, have
and
you fly
sit.
fished before?
No.
Have you fished?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you not like it?
Um, so one, I've not really been very successful, and like when you
We have to learn how
take
to do it. I
well,
haven't been
but
good at roofs because you
I'll
haven't
put it
trained
to you
me.
like this: when I was in Florida one time, and I got my son with me, and he was probably like, I don't know, 10, 11, and we literally got the fishing rod, got the bait. You can see the fish in the water, right? We're in Florida, right? Like you can see
Mhm.
the fish.
They're there.
The fish are coming up, eating the bait off the hook and running away.
And giving you the
And,
finger, giving you
and
the
we
middle
had,
fin.
yeah, I mean, they were trained there. And that was probably like the last time. It's like, yeah, all right.
All
There's
right, dude.
other
So
things I can do.
why
But I'm a
I
great
don't like
cheerleader, though.
golf. I've already talked golf
I'm a
with you. I
great
don't even like
cheerleader.
golf, and I've golfed with people. I will not golf with you or anyone. I don't. I like you so much that I won't golf with you. That I would rather sit and talk with you over chicken and waffles at State Fair and do some radio together, whatever you want,
I
like
agree.
all of that, right? Or get a crab cake. But the fishing thing is attractive to me that if I do like someone and want to hang out, there is a goal that is an obtainable goal that won't kill me or hurt my back or freak me out. It might cut my hand, but I don't care. So like I'm going to I'm not going to be a golfer when I get older, but I like my wife likes the outside, so maybe it's something we could do together. But
I,
I'm going to on this trip, I don't want to turn into a fishing thing, right? And I've
no,
told
I
Brian Eater that,
encourage
but I'm
you
going to
to try.
do
Yes.
my friend Sam Tudor hits me. He
Experience it.
shows me a snakehead, right?
That big?
And big ass snakehead. and says we should go do this, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. So I'm going to go crabbing one day. I'm going to go white marlining one day. I'm going to go snakeheading, I think, one day. Different than crabbing. And then I'm Deep Creek. I don't know what to do there. Do you fish there? Do you get what do people do? I had Wisp as a sponsor, but it was a skiing thing for years. You know, they would advertise and they would always say, come on out. And I'm like, at this time, I'm like, the girls are in the other direction. They're in Ocean City. I'm not going that way. And
I don't know if that's
Ness
true,
goes
but
to
okay.
the islands in February. He doesn't go places where it's cold. I don't like cold. So I never been the Wisp. I've been to the Yakagani. You know, I've never really been out 68 past like wherever Hogan took all the money that should have been in Baltimore and pissed it away on that circle. So I got to go figure out where that is too. I'm going to do a little thing there. They're growing cannabis in Western Maryland. I'm going to find some places out there that do that. There are craft beer places everywhere. I'm going to find some place. I'm going to zip line somewhere, and I'm interested in bees. So I want to find like an apiary and learn a little bit about that a little bit. And I want to like find out if there's anything bear oriented. Like, is there a bear thing out like that's in Maryland? Because I know there are bears in Maryland. I saw one in Ruxton a couple months ago. So
I
these are
think
the
you
things I want to do. So if any of that makes any sense, the
does.
train, the bears, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't necessarily have to do this now, but I mean, like, I can get you the bee apiary stuff without leaving Baltimore City.
No, I know that. Okay, all right. So I got okay. All right, we'll do that. I'm just trying to be. I am the child going to the teacher saying, we're having a field trip. Where do we get to go? You know, do I want to go to a pumpkin patch and go to Weber's Farm, or do we want to go to DC and go to the Smithsonian? You know, I can do anything I want. It's my tour. I'm 52. I'm a grown up, Bill. Okay, I can do anything I want. So I just want it to be great, and I want you to do something with me.
I understand. I get that. I think my favorite thing to do with you is to eat some kind of food and have discussions about whatever it
Would you
is
eat
and wherever
snakefish,
we go.
steak,
I'll eat.
steak head?
I'll eat anything. I don't care.
Would you eat a cicada?
Uh,
Now's your chance.
Under the correct
Limited time.
circumstances, meaning like
It's like peaches in the summer. Once they're gone, they're
forced.
gone.
No, I would never eat it because I think it would be good or it's a delicacy or
You would
anything
do it
like
as a
that.
as a party trip, as a frat trip. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do it because like 17 years ago, you know,
You do it
my dad ate a
because it's
cicada or
there.
something. Yeah,
Because it's there.
something like that.
Same
I don't
reason
even
we
know. I say that
same reason we
awfully
did the beer
bravado,
bongs
man.
in the
Right.
Preakness. It's just it was there.
I was pretty easy to say yes to that night. That's probably
It was
total crap.
proximity.
I
It was
don't
just
know.
proximity and peer
Yeah,
pressure is what it
I don't
was.
think that's true.
Bill calls here from Cole Roofing and Gordian Energy. He's going to take me someplace to get stung by bees and have honey afterward. Tell everybody what you do on roofs, and I'll let you get out of here and get back to doing what you do. But study the map. You know, as they said in Ridgemont High, read it, know it, learn it, live it, and you can wear your sandals if you want.
So, for 100 years, over
102.
over 100, right? Over
It
a
says
hundred.
1919 right on your thing.
The B Place Piedmont Learning Center, Steve
Cool.
Kopelman. They can hook you up.
Done.
Yeah, it's
Done.
great, really good honey, and he'll explain it all.
I will only do this when my father-in-law is in town. He loves bees and like that. He lives up in New Hampshire. So when he comes to town, he always goes to the B&O Museum, which Chris Holland's very happy with. But
You should go there because what he's doing is actually really cool, and like he's
important.
yeah, so he's doing that
Important.
stuff,
Yeah.
but with the kids too, right? So like that's a center where the
I was
kids
always
come
afraid
out
of bees. I
there and
killed
they
them. So
yeah,
I'm
no.
the wrong guy.
You should dig into Steve's stuff. Anyway, commercial roofing, fixing repairs, Nestor's favorite word, roof leaks, and new construction projects, the whole thing. We like to help people solve problems. We know that when water's coming in your building, it's a pretty big deal.
Do
So
you take leaks seriously?
we do.
Okay.
We do. We also, once we get everything stabilized and there's not water coming in your building anymore, we like to have the discussion about creating a small power plant on top of your roof to see if that isn't something that makes sense for you. And we
If I
can
wasn't a
walk you
smartass, the
all
show
the
wouldn't
way
be any
through.
good.
I try to be a smartass back, but usually I don't get my
It's
shots
a
in.
little bit like that Oscar Madison Monday Night Football segment with the real Howard Cosell and the Odd Couple. He came in with the insults, and all Howard wanted to do was love him up. Like Howard wasn't having any of that.
I mean, really, where I was going was I was worried about that when you elevated your stand-up desk, we might only see the top of your head. So I was just, but
No,
it
man, dude,
sounds
I can
like you
move it
got that
up. I
stuff
can move it
there. Yeah. Okay.
down.
All right.
I think like Dave Knoll's really tall. So when I stand next to him, I'm like, dude, you're really
He is
tall.
really
And,
tall.
and like it's different for me. I fit places easily. It's nice. So, dude, I will see you 2 weeks from now because I'm on. My wife and I are gonna go to the OBX and do nothing for a couple of days. Does that sound like
I
something I
guess.
should do?
Yeah, I don't really believe that you're going to do nothing, but okay.
I listen to that Billy Joel song. Take the phone off the hook and disappear for a while.
That's fine, but the wheels will still be turning. So
It's all right. You can't afford to lose a day or two. All right. Bill Cole will be found not in Vienna, but somewhere in Southwest Baltimore. You can find him at Cole Roofing and at Gordy and Energy, and of course on the front of BaltimorePositive.com.